So today we are doing the illustrious...
Wait, we have to stop.
Why?
I don't have my beers. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Plug your...
Now we're back. He is beard up.
We were good?
Cool. So we are doing the illustrious, famous, popular, well-revered album, Abbey Road by the Beatles, released in September 26th of 1969. Abbey Road, Aaron. Abbey Road. What are your thoughts on one of the most iconic albums of all time?
It's all right. It's pretty good. I mean, I got a lot of interesting stuff about it. If my
There's
laptop
a lot
will
of
turn
interesting
on.
stuff about this album.
Let me get my Word pulled up, because I honestly don't even know what album we're doing
So-
until I pull it up.
So this album was the second to last album from the Beatles, and then they had one more in 1970, and then they broke up. So this was during a tumultuous time of the band, but they were still able to pull it together and make this album, which is often considered by a lot of Beatles fans as their best album. It's always like one of three. It's either this,
Sgt.
Pepper's, or Rubber Soul, or not Rubber Soul, Revolver. Yeah, those three are usually like the holy trio.
But no, this album actually, the Beatles were like unofficially split up by the time this album dropped.
Yeah, the last song they recorded was "I Want You, She's So Heavy," wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the last time they ever met in the studio. Let's see, I have it written down here. So yeah, their 11th album, last album the group recorded in 1969 from spring to summer. And yeah, apparently John Lennon and Paul McCartney were...
John Lennon?
John Lennon and Paul McCartney were already like button heads quite a bit before... I mean, well before this album was done recording. And, I mean, they had all the recordings, from what I know, they had all the recordings for Let It Be, even though Let It Be came out after. They had all the recordings before this. But, yeah, released in the U.S. and the U.K. at different times. Obviously, the U.K. was first, and then the U.S. was like a week later. Yeah, John Lennon had left the band by the time the album had been released, but that was not public information until like almost a year later when they released Let It Be. So
dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So this was like the peak of their like tensions then, was this album?
No, I think that they had tensions during the White Album and during Let It Be, but this was like really where they were like apparently it was bad from what I heard.
Yeah.
So, or from what I read. It's worth noting, though, I feel like we can't talk about the Beatles after what I've read without mentioning George Martin, who's often considered the fifth Beatle.
Yeah.
Yeah, their producer, who pretty much produced all of their albums, I think. Like, even some of their earliest, like 1963s and forward. I mean, I'm not exactly sure. He might have... not done their first one or two, but he's been with them pretty much the rest of the time. And whenever they were button heads, like he was the guy that would be like, all right, come on, like let's just do it like this. And then they're like, okay. I think this was one of the first times that the Beatles used overdubbing a lot, which is where you basically record something and then you kind of listen back and you're like, okay, like let's add something else to that. So basically you'll record on top of what's already been recorded. They were doing that a lot. This album sounds a little bit different because George Martin suggested more of a... like new technology, production technology was coming out. So he suggested...
this is considered their best produced album, isn't it?
Right. And actually the audio engineer who worked on it, John Kurlander, worked also on...
Dark Side of the Moon, huh?
Lord of the Rings, and then the other audio engineer, Alan Parsons, worked on Dark Side of the Moon.
I see.
So
yeah, I actually recognize that name.
Yeah, so one of them though did work on the audio for Lord of the Rings, so that's kind of interesting.
You spelled trilogy wrong on your notes. Just saying.
Where?
Trilogy.
Trilogy? That looks right.
No.
Trilogy. Oh, whatever.
All right.
It's my notes, right? As long as I can read them.
That's fair. Is that all you had on the research? I thought you had more.
I do have quite a
but
bit
it's
more.
More for the songs?
No. I have a lot more for this album, but if you want to add
Holy
something,
crap.
if you want to add something, go ahead, because this album has a lot of stuff.
No, you keep trudging through, because my expertise is more on the songs than it is on the background of the album.
Okay. Yeah, I know George Harrison only wrote 2 songs, both of which are regarded as some of the best songs on the album.
I swear he wrote You Never Give Me Your Money.
I think that was Paul, but I think I have a... Yeah, it was Paul.
Oh, okay.
Or
I've always thought that was like the best. Yeah,
actually,
it was Paul.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Paul and Lennon kind of wrote that whole suite at the end. And for viewers who don't know, suite is like when one song leads into the next for extended periods of time.
It's a term used a lot in like classical music. Like Beethoven will have a suite, and it lasts like an hour, you know. And
yeah, so the second half of the album is a suite of
although
lots of
it's
short
kind
songs.
of a stretch. Sun King is not part of the suite. There's no transition. There's no thematical conclusion.
Sun King is not.
It is odd. Yeah, they consider that whole thing the grand medley, but
yeah,
it's not. I think even You Never Give Me Your Money is on the second half of the album.
It is, and that's part of the suite. I think that's the first song in the suite, actually.
No, that comes before Sun King.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
That is weird then.
I don't see how those are part of the same, but it's very clear once...
Sun King is not part of it, though.
All right.
So I guess it's everything after Sun King.
Because right after Sun King, boom, it smacks you in the face with that one song... the weird, goofy one, the Mustard, Me and Mr. Mustard.
Mr. Mustard,
I have a hilarious story about Mustard. I'll get it. I'll talk about it when we talk about the song. But I have an embarrassing history with that song. That's probably why I've tried to etch it away or erase it from my mind.
Okay, so yeah, when we get there, bring up whatever. I know that Lennon insisted on splitting his and McCartney's ideas onto the 2 halves of the album, which kind of almost happened. I think McCartney was the one that wanted to do that suite for the last half of the album.
Yeah, but it feels like more John Lennon music with
he
like
did
the
write
crazy lyrics, and
that's
like
what's weird.
The absurd, like it seems more Lennon-esque.
But yeah, Lennon despised the whole project overall. He was like, I really don't want to be doing this, and that's, I mean, they had a lot of tension. So, but sonically and tonally, it sounds a lot different than a lot of their other albums in their discography because of their new digital mixing desks and digital audio workstations. Everything before was kind of analog, and they did get more digital equipment on this album, which obviously their audio engineers and their producer George Martin all did a good job. I think it's probably their best produced album, in my opinion.
Yeah, that seems like the commonly said thing.
Other than that, so here I have some notes on each song.
Let's do those when we talk about each song.
But I do have a couple other things that are interesting. The license plate on the car, pictured in the album cover,
the Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, it's been stolen. Where did I have it written down? It was interesting.
Control F.
Yeah, I got too many notes for this one.
It's a lot to know about this album. I mean, it's such a dense project and it has so much. Like, when we're talking about a Beatles project, like, anything that there is to know, someone has written it and someone has, like, done the research on it, because this band is just so revered that, like, even the most minute details have, like, a paragraph on freaking Wikipedia.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot of research to do on a Beatles album.
Initially, did you know that the album actually was given pretty bad reviews? And then later on, critics were like, hold on, this is like probably one of the best like rock albums of all time. And there's been a webcam operating on Abbey Road, the street, in the UK for 13 years that just watches the road.
What did they not like about it? I guess the medley...
I don't know. It's got to be something that obviously grew on them, and something that at first they were like, okay, I mean, does it sound a lot different than the other Beatles projects? I think so. I think the production sounds actually the best, so it couldn't, I mean, I doubt it could have been that, but it does sound a lot different than, like, look at Sgt. Pepper's and the White Album, you know what I mean?
White Album has a lot of songs that are more Abbey Road-esque, though. I feel like there's a lot more, like, bluesy and rock songs on that album.
I don't think so. I mean, there is, but the whole concept of the White Album
Well, that's just you
misses
throwing
Abbey Road
everything.
by a far.
No, yeah, I know, because they like made every song completely detached and a whole separate genre and style from the previous. So, I'm just saying, but there are more like forward rock songs on the White Album than there were.
Oh yeah,
on
Helter
the previous.
Skelter.
Yeah,
that
that's what I was saying. And Your Old isn't there a song like Your Old Blues? That's literally a blues song.
Your Blues.
Yeah, Your Blues. Your Blues.
That's like a heavy blues song.
Yeah,
though.
that
That's
song's
like
sick.
closer to like the Black Keys or something.
Everything's the Black Keys or Black Dice or Black Eyed Peas or Black. What are these guys?
Black Keys.
Oh, oh yeah, those ones too.
I do want to mention something about this album. Is they dropped a lot of came out with a lot of anniversary editions and all
The
these
Super
limited
Deluxe.
editions, Super
Yeah.
Deluxe, whatever. And there's one song. I have 2 different scores for this album because of that one song.
Is
If
it
they would
I
have
Want You,
just
She's So
yeah,
Heavy?
if they
I
would have
knew
just
it.
put that song instead of the one that's actually on the album, the score actually for me went up quite a bit.
Dude,
we'll
your
get to it,
preferred. Okay, yeah, whatever. Oh boy.
Her Majesty, yeah. So a bunch of stuff about their. Yeah, let's get into the songs
All
because
right,
I got a
I'm
bunch
excited.
of stuff about the songs.
Cool. So one thing I will say, this is the first and maybe gonna be one of very few times that this ever happens. But I did not need to write any notes on any of the individual songs. Not only because like they're so iconic that if you say the name, I instantly know the song and what happens in it. But the thing about the Beatles is like they're not this super ornate, complex band with all these interesting, like crazy chord changes and different things going on in different songs. It's a bunch of short, forward, straight. What is the word I'm looking for?
straightforward,
Straightforward. There we go. Straightforward rock songs that are written well, sound good,
produced amazing.
produced
at least on this
amazing. It's
album.
all just good, straightforward rock. You don't need to overthink it, and I didn't need to overthink it. I'm gonna run this with no notes, and I'm sure I'll be just fine.
I can't stress enough though how much I feel like George Martin deserves credit on this album. Like when they say he's a 5th Beatle, like that dude is a 5th Beatle. This is probably one of the best produced albums I've
Certainly
ever
did
heard
better
in
than
my life.
Ringo. Any Ringo contributions on this album?
We'll get into that.
All right, let's get into it then. Let's start with song number 1, which is
okay. So yeah,
Come Together.
let me see the track listing real quick. Do
Okay.
we have that pulled up?
Yes. Well, I did.
Just do. I guess you don't want to show your score yet, huh?
Nope. I had it here. So let's just go. Dead air.
So, what are you doing?
Dude. There it is. Okay, we are here. We've arrived in the track listing. Starts with Come Together. Probably one of the most iconic bass lines of all freaking time. Boom, 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 boom. So cool, dude. This is like peak. This is one of McCartney's best.
I don't think that's a
songs.
good bass line. First
It
of all,
sounds so cool.
I can see
dude.
how it might be iconic,
Here
but
we
I don't
go
understand why it's iconic.
again. How is it not cool?
I don't know. It needs.
It's
No, it's all
motion.
pretty. It's all produced pretty well. I just think it's overrated. Like I've heard way better bass lines.
Okay, it
That's all
is
I
an
can say.
overrated song because it's held in such high regard, but it's still a good song regardless. I swear to God, you gave it a 0, didn't you? Don't tell me. Don't.
I won't tell you.
Put that
but-
away. Put that away.
I won't tell you, but yeah,
Okay.
right now I got.
So it's a cool song. The lyrics are very off the wall
It's a good song.
nonsense. It's a good song.
It's a good
It's a
song.
great song. I love this song. I would say I love this song.
That's what I like.
heard. I heard that the lyrics actually, and I'm not sure if this is true. It's probably more of like urban legend. But I heard that there was actually a politician that wanted to work with John Lennon to make a song for his campaign, but he changed his mind and just decided to give him this song, which has a name, Come Together. It sounds like, okay, we're all going to unite, right? It's all happy-go-lucky, but the lyrics are just complete nonsense.
I
just to
like
be
that about Beatles songwriting.
It's
like,
complete nonsense.
like in Radiohead, it's nonsense unless you get it. In this, it's nonsense and there is no getting it. Yeah.
There's Toe Jam
I like
Football.
that.
There's, what is it?
Octopus's Garden.
Well, no, I'm saying lyrics just off Come Together. Holy Rollers, there's Toe Jam Footballs, there's Juju Eyeballs, there's Monkey Fingers. It's all
apparently
nonsense.
Juju Eyeballs, I think some like Jewish guy had called up the band at the time and freaked out on him, and Paul was like, no, like we're just talking nonsense. like, calm down. And then he was like, oh, wow.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
He was thinking it was like some Kanye
Yeah,
type.
yeah. He thought it was like some anti-Semitic and he started freaking out on Paul, and he's on the phone like, no, I swear.
Yeah, this song is cool. This song rocks. Here's the thing: if a large amount of people say that a song is good, Aaron is inherently gonna have some apprehensions. I feel like that's safe to say. So when everyone
Not totally safe. Not 100% of the time.
not 100%.
I just like.
with how beloved this song
like
is,
some
it does
whiplash.
not surprise me at all that he decides not to like it.
It's a good song. It's a good song.
Okay, I hope it got at least a +1. But yeah, let's see. It's supposed to be used as a campaign song for governor of California. So.
Oh, that's another thing I was going to say. You see this little paragraph? A lot of John Lennon stuff at the song. Whoa. Timothy Leary? That was the guy that was running for governor? I did not know that dude was the dude running for governor.
Is he the dude who was all into LSD, all crazy?
Yeah, he was probably the face of American
guy?
counterculture.
He's the Kool-Aid guy?
No, but he was in the book a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they talked.
Okay.
There's a whole chapters where
where
they all spent time at his
that's cool.
at his house in New
They should have
York.
voted for him. That would have been crazy.
No, he was like the face of counterculture at the time.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, and John Lennon had become good friends with him at the time, from what I read. And
so maybe it wasn't intentionally nonsense to evoke Timothy Leary's tripped out LSD.
Yeah, he's the guy who came up with the phrase "tune in, turn off," something like that. I don't know, something dumb. Some
Cool.
hippie bullshit.
All right. Well, let's continue with the hippie nonsense with track number 2, Something. So this song...
That one was written by George Harrison, right? Yeah, Harrison.
Wow, that's probably the best Harrison song ever.
Well,
dude.
Something and Here Comes the Sun were two Harrison songs on the album.
This song is something.
And yeah, and those are like some of the classics of the album, you know what I mean? Like,
Something is... It's
probably the song that everybody knows on this album.
No, Come Together is the most popular Beatles song ever.
I didn't know that. I was gonna say it's one of those two, one of the first two tracks. Everybody knows
Something
those two.
is insanely beautiful. It's like a great love song.
There's great vocals on it.
The lyrics are great. It's actually a little. I think it's actually not like a cutesy love song. I think it's more of a breakup song or a post breakup song. But regardless of that, it's often considered a love song, probably because of the love he still feels for that person. And not to name drop our friend Anthony Fantano again, but he says, I think he said that him and his wife, it's their favorite love song together. And weird parallel, the reason I bring that up is because me and my to-be wife are going to use this song as our song to walk down the aisle, because it's just such a beautiful song. And it's meant a lot to me, so that's going to be my wedding song. So I'm sure this song will have a lot more sentimental value.
Sorry, I was reading for a sec.
In the next
10
days,
but
or 15 days.
Yeah, you're right.
So love
that
this
is
song.
Interesting.
It's a beautiful song, a touching song, great orchestral.
I wouldn't do it for a wedding, but
you'd probably
too late.
Probably throwing black dice.
I'll
for
probably
the wedding,
never get
bro.
married, so
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's fair. All right, so we start off the album with 2 great songs, 2 iconic songs,
and then we get a little even better songs. Bro, Silver Hammer. Did you know that they used a real anvil? The bang bang.
I like Silver Hammer, but it's not as good as the other two.
Dude, it's basically about a guy who
gets
mad when he doesn't get what he wants, so he just kills you.
It's kind of like the crazy nonsense Beatles that a lot of people dislike. It's more of the vein of I Am the Walrus and Yellow Submarine.
Those are both good songs.
Where it's just kind of goofy, nonsense. But this song is pretty fun. Just in the beat is fun and the tempo's fun. The sound effects are fun. It's just kind of this cartoony song.
McCartney
you don't
wrote
take it that seriously.
It was supposed to be on Sgt. Pepper's.
That fits Sgt. Pepper's.
But they all
better.
hated it. And McCartney, he was more stingy about this song than everybody else. He was I think they did more takes of this song than any song they'd ever done, because he wanted it exactly right. And Lennon had walked out of the studio and one day he was I'm not doing this bullshit. And he was trying to get the anvil perfectly right. And
I like this song, but
I love this song.
The album could have went without.
No.
Yes.
This album would have suffered a lot in my eyes without this song.
People don't. It's a rock album. This goofy little cartoon aside is not.
Dude, the anvil is sick. Bang, bang.
It's cartoony. It sounds like a cartoon.
It's a
sound
real
effect.
anvil.
It sounds like that you'd record for a cartoon.
No,
I
feel
like the song. It's fun, but
no
it's
cartoonist ever went and was like, all right, let's go get a fucking anvil. No, they're
Bro,
probably
that's like a
sitting
stereotypical
on
cartoon item. It's like an anvil to fall from the sky and pancake flatten Bugs
You think
Bunny.
they actually use true, but you think they actually use like a real anvil? Like that's what impressed me the most. Was like they carried like a 500-pound anvil into the studio, put a mic, and we're like, all right, get it right on time, and they kept doing it for like days.
That's pretty impressive.
That's
pretty impressive. Still could have went without. But
Lennon
like
hated
the song.
Lennon hated the song.
That's weird because this seems more like a weird, like offbeat Lennon-esque type song. I would have been
I think
more surprised.
Yeah,
or
McCartney
I would have
wrote
been
it.
way less surprised to see that Lennon wrote this because it's more up his off-kilter alley. But the next song seems way more like Paul McCartney's.
I love the next song too.
Yeah, this
That
song
is a McCartney
great.
song as well.
This seems like quintessential McCartney, more bluesy and more like.
Oh,
like
darling,
loving,
right? He does some screaming on that
yeah,
album.
it's
It's
so
perfect.
good. So, Oh Darling is another great love song. Very passionate. You get these screaming at the top of your lungs vocals from Paul McCartney, which is cool because you don't expect that from him.
Oh, darling.
Yeah, and then he gets into that chorus where he's like screaming.
Apparently,
his head off.
Lennon was
crazy.
felt that he should have sung it. He was like, "It's more up my alley, so I should be singing it." And he was kind of pissed.
Lennon is kind of usually the screamer of the album, or of the Beatles, but not in this album.
McCartney, even in his solo stuff, he's always screaming. He loves
really?
to scream. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's just funny coming from McCartney, who's usually like considered like the wholesome, like the cute boy of the band, you know. So
I mean,
for him to be
yeah.
screaming is kind of awesome. But yeah, this song definitely rocks. It's a great bluesy rock song.
Awesome
very
song.
passionate vocals.
Awesome song.
Yeah, another song that I love. Now
Another
we
awesome
drop
song.
down to the
Don't
worst
fucking
song
say
in the album.
fuck
by
you,
far.
bro. Worst song on the album by
Worst
far.
song by
Bullshit,
far.
dude. It's a Ringo Starr song, but
That's
don't let
exactly-
that sway. No.
exactly-
That's not a reason to say that the
exactly-
song is bad.
All you need to know. We could just move on to the next song. It's a
No,
Ringo song.
no, dude. What is it? The chorus when he says like,
In an octopus
No.
in the sea. It's
oh,
goofy.
dude, it gets so emotional at some part where he's like,
my.
under the waves, or I don't know. I'll have to.
Emotional.
Dude,
It's
it gets like a
it's just-
cathartic release during his vocals on that song. That song is so good.
No. Okay. If you don't like Yellow Submarine or that like
No.
style
Don't
of the
even
Beatles,
compare it to the Yellow
dude,
Submarine.
it's the exact same
No, it is
goofy-
not, bro. It's
like
way
even
more
worse
emotional.
than Maxwell. No, what's it
Yes, it
emotional?
is.
It's talking about an octopus and some fish. It's
Yeah, the
goofy.
lyrics never make sense, but the way that the vocals convey the lyrics, bro.
Dude, you're giving way too much benefit of the doubt. He just
No,
wrote
no,
some
no.
cute little song.
Listen to this.
Below the storm, in our little
Hideaway beneath the waves. Right there,
It's not
dude.
even emotional. That's it.
Yeah, bro.
That's
he does
it?
that part like a couple times.
in our little
Just the little
Hideaway beneath the waves.
How is that conveying emotion to you? Hold on,
I don't know.
hold on.
He's like, we're
Hold
just
on.
chilling in our little hideaway beneath the waves. It's just
That's
like a,
not
it's
like
like a
any
cathartic.
emotional,
Bro,
like-
this is like a way good song for chilling in the park and like reading, or not even reading, just like headphones, like in a
No.
hammock. Perfect song.
The song is
In a little
goofy. The song is
hideaway
goofy.
beneath the
This
waves.
is probably the least popular song. Listen to this, guys. So this is probably the least liked song on the album. Like, people give this song a lot of crap. And guess whose favorite song it is? Of course.
People give it crap because they're predisposed to the fact that
Yeah,
Ringo
there's
Starr
a
wrote
reason
it.
for that.
Ringo Starr is underrated.
Maybe. I agree with that, to be honest. But not because of this song. That's for sure.
Dude, he has like subtle touches of like emotional catharsism, and I like it. I like his songs.
Of course you
It's
do.
beautiful.
Of course you do.
I hate
Alright,
when
now-
you're trying to be too straightforward, but he's subtle. He's subtle with his like emotional.
There's no
We're just gonna chill at a hideaway beneath the waves.
He's just-
Resting our head.
It's so goofy, guys. Look
the
at
harmonies.
this. Look at this fella.
Oh
like,
my dude, this is an amazing song.
no way you're
Fuck
this
you.
like. No way.
I'm-
You're
this is a
in
good
support of
song.
an Octopus's
This
garden,
is a good
bro.
song. Fuck you.
It's like freaking out that like, I don't know. It's like some goofy early Beatles. It's like,
No, it is not.
no, I'm not
I'm
saying
gonna
it.
hold your hand.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
No.
that's a way good song, bro. It's just goofy.
Whatever.
It's not,
Next
it's
song.
just- The next song is a way good song. In fact, it's the best Beatles song of all time.
Nope.
It is I Want You, She's So Heavy. 7 minutes, 50 seconds of this amazing guitar riff on loop. And then it switches it up with some almost like Spanish style, not like flamenco Spanish, but kind of like a interesting. How would you describe the switch up on the when it gets slow? In between the heavy, freaking awesome rock riff, and then there's that little switch up. It gives me kind of like
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't listened to this song. I've only listened to the other one. Let me put it on real quick. What's it called?
I Want You, She's So Heavy.
You described to me this little switch up that you're talking about. Ooh, this bluesy part.
Yeah, like this, like it's almost like this, like
No, yeah,
it's like this laid back, like loungy, like cool, little bluesy guitar solo. It reminds me of like something that like a guy would be playing in like a cabana or some bar in like I don't know why Spain is what comes to mind, but like some like European, just like cool, chill, casual like bar playing. It's like casual drumming, and then it goes right back into the smack you in the face rock riff that is so good. It is so freaking good.
It's pretty good. The production
And
is better
over time.
on the other
It keeps
version,
getting.
but-
It seems to get like more distorted as it continues progressing, and then eventually the cabana style part just stops, and it just keeps looping the same riff over and over, and it gets more overwhelming, and you start getting these like, this like wind, almost like this wind sound that adds on top, and it gets louder and builds up, and you'd think it ends in this grand crescendo. No, just cuts off. Literally, the song ends.
That was
in the
Lennon's
middle of a
idea.
riff.
Let me just cut it right here and we'll flip the record.
It's
just very abrupt,
awesome,
just boom.
dude. And also,
And then
speaking
the
of
next
Lennon,
song after comes on and it sounds a little like, what just happened?
right, right. Lennon's singing on this is awesome too. He gets really impassioned with it.
It's
too.
about his relationship with Ono.
Yoko. Yeah. So this song was given a lot of crap because the lyrics were considered repetitive and kind of dumbed down. Because I think there's like literally less than 30 words said in this whole 8-minute song. It's pretty much just I want you so bad. That's pretty much all of it, right?
She's so, and then it drops
Yeah.
into the heavy part.
But and then she's so heavy.
heavy.
But it's heavy, like he's putting his heart into these lyrics. And the reason John Lennon explained it when he was getting criticized, and I love this explanation. He said it's like this raw emotional feeling of love and of, like she is everything in his mind when he was writing this song. Think of it like this. This is what John Lennon
Maybe
said.
that's why he became such a dick and left the band.
Right.
I'm just
Probably.
kidding.
Yeah. But he said, okay, when you're drowning, you don't say, "Sir, madam, could you help me? I'm drowning here." No, you just scream. You just scream because that's everything in your body is
That
just
is
coming
impressive
out
if
to
you can
scream,
do
and-
that in a studio.
And that's
if
what
you can
he's
get that
doing
into
with
it
that
in a
freaking
studio.
song, and you can
That's
feel
great,
it in
yeah.
his impassioned vocals. This song is amazing. That riff will get stuck in your head, and you're not gonna even complain about it because it is just so
Yeah,
good.
no, anybody would like it. I do have one
so
thing to
good.
say. The alternate version.
Okay,
On
I'll pass you the mic. It's
What is
all
it? What
you.
is the album called? What is it
Road.
called? No, I know. But is it
The Super
Anniversary?
Deluxe?
Super Deluxe.
Yeah.
So the Super Deluxe edition comes with a song called. Let me look real quick. I Want You, She's So Heavy, Trident recording session and reduction mix. That, if you can
I
find
thought
that
it was like
track.
take 32 or something.
No. That's literally what it
shit.
says in the
I don't even know
Super
if I've
Deluxe
heard it
version.
then.
That version of the song is way better.
Doesn't it have a little synth?
Yeah, it has a synth the whole time. The vocals are better. There's a synth. The guitar is more punchy. Like,
I remember
I
listening to it years ago, back when you first told me that. And I remember
and there's
thinking
more
that
screaming. Like it's
I remember
a
thinking that the synth was
way
kind
better
of
song.
didn't match like the bluesy raw rock
No,
feel
it
of
does, bro.
But it just seems like it is a little less finished and polished, which
I think the
for
production
you,
is better.
For you,
yeah.
he would say that makes it sound more raw and more emotional.
That's one worth listening to, though.
I would.
If you're
yeah,
gonna
I'd
listen
say
to this
go for
album,
it.
at least try that version
I would
of
say
this already
definitely
good
listen to
song.
both. It is an amazing song, so you're not gonna complain either way. Both songs would be great.
I think
if they
the
had
other
put
one is a
either
lot
one
better.
in, I would still have loved both.
And I will have more to add later because of this song. So,
Okay.
But I mean,
So
yeah, it's. I think it doesn't compare to my favorite song on the album, though. But
Octopus's Garden.
no, we haven't got to
Okay,
it yet.
thank God.
It's a good album.
Thank
There's a lot of
God.
good songs.
I thought you were about to tell me off.
No. Maxwell's Silver Hammer and Octopus's Garden are up there, probably on the first side, though. Something
those
and
are
Come Together
literally
for
the
me are
worst songs on the
Something and
album.
Come Together for me are probably the worst songs in the first half of the album.
Okay.
What they're both
Hipster.
still good songs. I mean,
Okay,
the album's
okay,
good.
okay,
It's a good album.
okay.
So
Now we flip on to side 2, the grand medley, which the first 4 songs are not really part of it, in my opinion, at all.
You Never Give Me Your Money should be.
But that's in the wrong order, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really help, eh?
Yeah.
So we start off.
The Sweet, the grand medley, the Sweet. The
Right.
last half is all some big. Every song kind of leads into the next. So we start off with Here Comes the Sun.
Which is a cool, palate cleanser from I Want You, She's So Heavy, which
Another-
is kind of smacking you in the face.
Yeah.
And then Here Comes the Sun is a little more. Everyone's heard that song. Do we even need to talk about this song?
No.
Everyone has
Everybody's
this
heard
song.
something, and Here Comes the Sun. I feel
Yeah.
like, which are both
No,
written by
Come
Harrison.
Together and Here Comes the Sun.
Well, I also feel like something, but
Okay, you guys have probably heard a lot of this album, actually.
Harrison also wrote Here Comes the Sun, though, and
It's a cute little palate cleanser.
It's a good song. He wrote it in Eric Clapton's garden.
I would say this is way
it is the
more...
most streamed song on Beatles Spotify.
Oh, I thought it was Come Together. I swear. Maybe that was at the top as in, most relevant, but not the most streamed.
Huh? Yeah, I was gonna say this song.
Heck yeah.
Everybody knows this song. And during my what is it? Senior sunrise party for high school. They have those.
Yeah.
We were up all night camping, and I think me and a couple of my buddies, Lucas and I think Logan, were some of the last people up, and we were up and the sun was coming up, and we were coming down from being drunk and stoned, and we had just watched the sun come up, and Lucas was like, you know what? And he just played this song, and we watched the sunrise, and that shit was sick. This is a beautiful song.
This is what I'd say. It's a cute little, it's a cute little pretty song. No one's gonna hate it. They might find it a little cheesy, but it is just a little cute little palate cleanser, I'd say. But
I think it's one of
for
the worst
you,
songs on the
mister,
album, though.
For you, buddy, old pal, who says, Octopus's Garden's just the best song for relaxing in the park. Here Comes the Sun was made for that, bro. Octopus's Garden does not do anything.
They're
This song
both
would be
good
so
at doing
pretty. You
that.
sit at a park having a picnic, just watching the dogs run and the kids play and whatever people do at the
I
park.
love watching the kids play, but
As long as you just watch and don't approach.
no.
Next.
It's probably my least favorite song on the album, but it's a good song.
Wow. So you like every song on this album?
I think so.
Cool,
I'd have
okay.
to double check my score,
It's gonna be a
but
high
let's
score
keep
then.
going and
Yeah.
we'll.
Because.
This is my favorite song on the album.
Wow, this is a great song.
This is an amazing fucking song. The lyrics, the vocals, the guitar, the production, everything is perfect on this song.
So how I would
It's
describe
just the
this
lyrics
song,
that just take me away the most, dude.
because the way I describe because is it's almost the exact same chord progression and riff of I Want You, She's So Heavy, but it's detached and stripped back into a little piano, a little synth,
No, it's.
or is it a guitar that just has a crazy effect on it?
I think it's still a guitar.
Yeah, it's just very simple. It's played slower, and you have
It's
these
close to the same riff as I Want You, She's So
almost the
Heavy.
exact
But it's a
same.
little bit different. You want to know where it came from?
Yeah.
So, John Lennon was laying on his couch one day listening to Yoko Ono playing Beethoven
Probably
on
playing it
piano.
badly, but
playing it on piano, and Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, and then he asked her to play it backwards. She played it backwards, and he was like, "I'm using that.
So that's that.
That's the riff."
Weird. I wonder what.
Yeah.
I wonder if that happened first, and then I Want You, She's So Heavy. They were like, hey, let's try this all distorted and crazy.
Well, I Want You,
Because
She's
it
So
does
Heavy.
sound really similar.
Isn't that the last recording time that they were in the studio? So it
Yes.
would have been after.
Yeah,
So
It
yeah.
would have been after.
Because though lyrics perfect, dude. Just
So tell me, what are they?
because. Well, I mean, yeah. Let's
Because
look.
I remember the lyrics being pretty mystical and like pretty, but it didn't touch me like it touched you. So I'd like you to explain.
It's just
but
like
while he
it's
pulls
like
that
Let
up,
It Be, but a little bit more abstract.
while he pulls it up, I'm just gonna describe essentially what Because is. So I was saying, it's the same, almost the exact same riff, but more stripped back, and you have these like really pretty, like the whole band is singing together. You know, they're saying the lyrics, and you have like, it's kind of this swelling, lyrical swelling, like the way they sing it just comes in and out. It feels like it feels like airy and like
It does feel a little bit kind of trippy. It feels almost
it really
like
does.
it feels like
it's like the wind is saying it. They're just coming through the speaker. It's
yeah.
really interesting. It's very pretty.
As somebody, as the only person here who's actually taken psychedelics, like it's like coming up on mushrooms when things start to sway a little, and it not in like your head or like your actual body physically, but like your visuals and I don't know, your psyche a little starts going a little like spring reverby or whatever, not super fast, but just at a slow tempo, and that's kind of the vibe that it gives.
The way they sing and harmonize on this, it's really
the
good.
outro when they harmonize.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because the world is round, it turns me on. Because the world is round, because the wind is high, it blows my mind.
Yeah, they
because
sound
the wind
like
is
it
high.
sounds like they're just tripping and like all these.
Because
like,
the
simple
sky
things
is
are blowing
blue,
their
it
mind.
makes me cry, dude. I've cried to this song before, dude. It is an amazing song.
That's the whole lyrics, isn't it?
yeah.
So what about that speaks so deeply to you? It seems like really
It's
simple
just like
messages.
it's just
like,
like let
get
it
you.
be. It's like because the sky is blue, it makes me cry. It's like I don't know. Like
What-
I've personally looked at like the mountains or something before where we live. Like the mountains
just
are
like
huge.
the awe just makes you
If it's
cry.
fall time, like it's a
Okay.
lot of visual stimulation and it's very overwhelming and emotional sometimes. And I feel like this lyrics captures that emotion entirely. I mean,
It's a good
because
song.
the
It's a
sky is
great
blue, it
song.
makes me cry. Because the wind is high, it blows my mind.
It's not, to me, it almost seems like they're like tripping, and so these like simple things that people don't
Yeah.
think about are like really like hitting them very strongly, even though they try to say that they LSD.
Yeah,
never
they're like,
influenced their
oh,
music.
nothing inspires us by LSD. But then Timothy Leary was like Lennon's best friend at the time.
Oh, it's so dumb. Okay, so now we are, I think, officially starting the Grand Medley, even though I don't think these first two songs are attached to it at all. And it is You Never Give Me Your Money.
It's a good song.
It is a good song. I would say my only issue with it is that it kind of seems a little disjointed. It kind of goes all over the place a little bit. There's sections of it that don't repeat. It's not like you'll have verse 1, chorus, verse 2. It's kind of like verse 1 is over here, then you have the chorus, and then verse 1 never comes back, and it's like a whole new verse. Then it's like a different.
That sounds like regular. Verse 1 never comes back. That's what it's
Well,
called, verse 1.
right,
Are
but
you
the-
saying
the
like the
structure
of a verse does
Yes,
not come
yes.
back? Okay.
It
yeah,
seems
and that's,
it's much more
I
like
like
disjointed.
that. I like that
Yeah, I
part
do
of
like
this
it
album.
too.
It's all
I
like
do like it too.
it's not. It's more like avant-garde, like in
I
a way
wouldn't
that
say
they
this song's
structure.
avant-garde,
Well,
but yes.
not the melody or anything, but the structure of how they
Definitely.
structure the song is definitely I feel like avant-garde.
It's not like your basic verse, chorus, outro,
Right.
It's a little more all over the
For
place.
the time too, it was definitely.
Which
I feel like
I
avant-garde.
like it, but it doesn't blow me away as much as songs before and after it, or mainly songs before it. But so
Did you know that
It's cool.
a lot of this medley was recorded during the White Album? And then they were just like, let's bring back those recordings and put them on
that
here.
doesn't surprise me.
So it makes a little bit of sense with the whole avant-garde kind of short songs.
Yeah, that does. Yeah. Then Sun King.
I'll be honest, I don't
this
think I like that song. I'll see what I rated it. I think
you don't
I
like
put it as
hippie
okay,
psychedelic
but
anymore, but this is like
it's another
good-
because vibe, like
right.
or-
It's the most psychedelic song on the album. I'd say it's has like these like almost like entrancing, slowly delivered vocals, and it has this just kind of like distant sound that is very common in psychedelic music. I really like it. I love psychedelic music. It's nothing like crazy like acid trip, psycho that a lot of more experimental bands made, or even Beatles made in previous albums, but it is a good, calming psychedelic song. It took me a little. At first, I thought the nonsense Latin language.
I think it was
mixture
this
at the
song
end-
actually, not Here Comes the Sun, that is my least favorite on the album. It's this one. It is this
Alright.
one.
It's a weird take, but I don't like that at the end the lyrics are just random words taken out of various Latin languages, Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese, and they're just kind of thrown in a random order. They make no sense at all. And it just kind of sounds a little goofy. All these like white British dudes trying to speak various Spanish languages badly. I would have preferred if they just maybe stuck it to French or something. Just
Don't
one
do this
language
if you're
in French.
British.
Yeah, just like cuando para mucho. It's like you guys definitely. It reminds me of like a white person saying, "Hey, could you give me some queso, please?" or something like that.
Or when I show up to Mexican parties and I'm like, hey, when are we breaking out the tres leches?
Right, it kind of gives you that.
And
vibe.
they
It's
answer it
funny.
every time. They're like, oh, like in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. So it's a little. It seems a little.
Muy bien.
I could tell it's an artistic choice because it does sound pretty, but as someone who speaks a couple of those languages at least a little bit, it kind of is a little bit dorky sounding to me. But to a British chap who doesn't know any better, he's like, governor,
British chap, eh?
Governor, it's probably saying something in Spanish, eh? All right. So now let's start what I consider the official beginning of the medley. So that song kind of fades out, and then it immediately starts with Mean Mr. Mustard, which kind of just smacks you in the face with its goofy charm.
I like it. I like. Is it the rest? Yeah, the rest of the album. I'm on board with it.
Yeah,
And it was actually the rest of the album was an attempt to reconcile John and Paul. By the producer. He was like, all right, let's work on some stuff. You'll both input, and we'll both just do little snippets.
Okay.
So it was an attempt to get them like, guys, don't break up.
Yeah, I like that.
It didn't work, but
I know. Imagine that. I like it. It seems like very much a sister song with the next song, Polythene Pam, because they're both talking about these like absurd characters. I think they're both homeless, just like these crazy loons with these crazy descriptors. And Polythene Pam is Mr. Mustard's sister, and they're both, it seems like they're very much in pair. But I do have, it talks about his sister Pam. Blah, blah,
oh yeah. I guess that does make sense.
They're both kind of in this together. It's
Isn't that in You Never Give Me Your Money though?
No,
that line?
No.
Yeah, you're right. Huh. It's all kind of blending for me, but this whole last last half of the album kind of does blend. Not the last half, but the last half of the
last half. Yeah.
So the last quarter of the album kind of blends with
Which is
me.
the point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the point of a suite or the.
So
the grand
I have an
medley or whatever.
embarrassing
you had
middle with Mean Mr. Mustard that I
want
was
a
given
beer
a
for
lot
this
of crap
story?
for. No, I'm okay. But in the year of our Lord 2020, right? A very dramatic year. We had COVID, we had election stuff, we had all this crazy thing. The world felt like it was melting down. Like every
Not
month
me,
there's this
I
new
was
crazy
fine.
thing happening, stressful. People are dying left and right. And you know what my top song on Spotify was?
What?
Mean Mr. Mustard, bro.
Well, what's it supposed to be? Come on.
The song that got me through 2020
Was Mean
more
Mr.
than
Mustard.
anything else. It was Mean Mr. Mustard. I don't even know how that happened. It's 1 minute and 6 seconds long. How was that my top song?
It's a good song.
I guess. I freaking guess. So yeah, the song that pushed me through the pandemic was Mean Mr. Mustard. Which I don't know how I feel about that, but I thought I'd admit that. That was that was my worst Spotify
If you want
Wrapped.
If you need something to help you swallow it, bro.
Good one.
Was that a pun? Was that qualified as a pun?
I think it was.
Hey, my
So,
first pun. Can we clap?
Do you have anything to say about Polythene that isn't said in Mean Mr. Mustard?
It
It is a little more upbeat. It is a little more upbeat.
I like it. I like the whole medley. I like the whole suite.
I do prefer the next song though.
That next song is pretty good too.
This
I
is
do say the next song be pretty damn good.
okay. So she came in through the bathroom window. I feel like I knew that song before I first originally listened to this album.
No, yeah, it is a relatable song. I feel like
I knew
just like
this
that
song.
Daft Punk album.
And it's good. It's a little more of that straightforward Paul McCartney bluesy
spilled
rock.
some beer.
And I like it a lot. It's a little too short. I wish
Can
the
I
song
just
was
say-
longer. If the song was like a full 3-minute song, it'd be freaking awesome.
I had spilled beer on my cat like 3 months ago, and his neck still smells like beer. Should I wash him or something?
I say what you do is once it starts to fade, just refill the smell, so it just eternally smells like beer.
All right.
Maybe if you bathe him in beer, then he will never not smell like beer.
I don't know if I want him to
Is
smell
there
like
a
beer when
moral?
I wake up on a hangover.
God. All right. Okay, interesting. Anyways, she came in through the bathroom window. I really like that song. I think it's definitely going to be the next song that I grow to love. I just wish it was longer. It's just too short. Like, just repeat it one more time. Make it like 3 minutes long. I like it. It needs a little more. It's so cool. Like, the way
It's
he
a
sings
McCartney
it.
song, it
yeah,
is.
it's a very McCartney-esque, in my opinion. Like, the way it sounds seems very quintessentially McCartney.
What is the... You Never Give Me Your Money. It has the same kind of melody that
The
they pick
guitar
up
is
in
cool
another
too.
song. That they pick up in another song. You Never Give Me Your Money. They pick that up in another song. What song is it?
I don't know.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh shoot, you're right. I don't know.
It's one of these songs. They carry the melody over.
It
and
might be Carry That Weight.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember, but it's one of these next three.
Yeah, so
So-
You Give Me Your Money really should be in the medley, and Sun King should be in
That's
the
what I'm
reverse
saying.
order.
That's what I'm saying. Is Sun King should not. Yeah. I don't know why they did that. As long as because I was on this half of the album, this half's good.
Right, okay.
I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide.
And then
Y'all
we
can
get
release
even
this.
better. Even better is the next song, Golden Slumbers.
A lot of screaming, a lot of.
Dude, this is the best screaming. I think this is the best, like, powerful vocal
Didn't
delivery.
you have me do this at your house one time, or was it Oh Darling?
It was Oh Darling, we both
Or was
did
it both?
No.
Oh.
No, it was Golden Slumber because it was really short. Yeah, we did Golden. Yeah, we
Okay, dope.
screamed that together because it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was a good song.
It is. I heard that it took him. He was scared that it was going to take him a lot of takes to really nail it, but it only took him a few, and he was very thankful because it spared his vocal box.
Right on,
and it
yeah.
freaking sounds so cool. It's a very simple song, just cute little piano intro with him singing softly and melodically, and then the drums go and he's screaming these vocals.
Why?
So no, that's the wrong song. That's Carry That Weight.
I know. I thought you were transitioning to the next song.
No, I'm explaining what happens in Golden
Oh,
Slumbers.
okay.
But that also does happen. So that's an interesting thing. So that thing transitions into Paul McCartney screaming, and then it transitions out, and then it transitions back, and you think it's going to happen a second time, but no, it's straight transition into the next song. Carry
Which
That
is
Weight.
another awesome song, bro. This is probably my favorite song on the suite.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine would have to be Golden Slumber.
You're gonna carry
This one is more like a
way.
anthem because you have everyone like it seems like they're all
And
singing
they're
it
yeah,
together.
they are all singing it together. So
And there's like some horns in the background. It's
like,
very
yeah,
anthemic
dude,
and energetic.
It's like we're nearing the end of the album, that type of
Yeah,
song.
yeah, it really does kind of give
It's
like a good like.
I love that song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
And just the lyrics, it's like, I don't know, it's something that feels deep but isn't. You're gonna carry that way. Yeah.
This album has me freaking hyped. I'm
This album's
energetic.
good.
This
This
album's
album's
freaking awesome.
Okay, the end.
The end.
They all start soloing.
Is that what it is? Because I was gonna say it's very disjointed as well.
Yeah, so they all take turns soloing.
Ringo's solo
Harris-
is good. It's
So
his drumming is
Ringo,
actually really good.
Ringo does a drum solo. Harrison does a guitar solo. McCartney and Lennon, they
makes
all do
sense.
guitar solos. So kind of
Okay.
that's why it feels
So I was gonna
disjointed.
say, yeah,
they all kind of
it
take
took me a
turns
while
on
to
guitar
like this song
solos.
because I'm like, why?
I think it's
is
another
it all
great
over
song.
the place? But no, that actually is kind of cool. I
Yeah.
did grow to like it. I do like the song. Isn't there a part with like female vocals as well that kind of just come in at some point?
No, that's Your Majesty. Well, no.
No, it's not.
I don't
It
think
is
there's
this
any
song.
female vocals.
I swear there is. There's like kind of like a more soulful part with like female vocals. I'm like,
Look
who
it
are
up.
you? Are you the fifth Beatle? I think we found the fifth Beatle, guys. It's good. It is a good song.
I'm
Now-
listening to this song after this video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice song is
It
a hidden
ends-
track. The
okay,
shortest
so-
song in the Beatles' whole discography ever.
This is interesting. This song basically was not supposed to be on the album.
Yes, I actually saw that on the Wikipedia. It's very interesting.
Yeah, McCartney came into the studio a little early one day, recorded it, and was like, whatever, left it there. And then I think the audio engineer, accidentally, because the producer, George Martin, was like, don't delete anything, don't throw away
Yes,
anything. And so
yes.
he brings it in, he's like, oh, it accidentally ended up on there, and we could redo it, And then McCartney, everybody was kind of like, no, I kind of like it. After like a minute and a half or something of silence, and then it's just a 26-second little.
Yeah, it's literally just a McCartney singing like a little diddly with him stroking the guitar.
I mean, he did it in like 5 minutes.
Very casual.
It's like a 5-minute thing that he just recorded when he showed up
early
to the studio.
It's a cute little.
I think it's a good way to end the album. So.
And it is, yeah, I'm glad that wasn't cut, and I'm glad George Martin didn't cut all that. You know what they should do? Because for like the 50th anniversary, they released the Super Deluxe with some of the takes. Let's do 100th anniversary, every single take, bro. It's like a 200-hour album. Let's send it, bro. We'll review that.
Why don't we do that?
In 50 years, when Abbey Road is 100 years old, we'll do the Super Duper Deluxe with
we'll have to
every
do about
single
8
take
parts.
Ever. Nah,
so this song, take 1 of this song, take
35 of this song. It's pretty good, but I kind of prefer 17.
Take 17 is a little better. Take 1 was probably the longest, but.
So yeah, that is Abbey Road. Those are the songs on Abbey Road, an iconic album because it's freaking awesome. And now for scores. Boom! Oh wait, wrong album. Boom! My 20th favorite album of all time.
179.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I talked a lot of game on this album, but it's only 20th out of 200 plus albums, so it's not like top 10er, but it is.
Well, there's not another Beatles album that beats
album.
it, is it?
No.
Right. So for you, this is the quintessential Beatle album.
Yes, sir, and that's not that hot of a take.
I think
it used to be between this and Sgt. Pepper's, but over time, Abbey Road just kind of
it'd be tough for me.
away.
Sgt. Pepper's, Abbey Road, or
album,
the White Album.
Revolver.
No, I like the White Album more.
It'd be hard to score the White Album though, because there's a lot of like throwaway tracks on there.
I like it all.
I like the idea. Well, why are we talking about the White Album? Wrong album.
Yeah.
It's a good
179.
album
I had
too.
131.
I like it more than you. I like everything more than you, other than Ram so far, right?
Yeah.
It's a way good.
No, not Mr. Morale. I was up by you by 3.
Like what, 3 points?
3
Wow,
points.
you got me there.
So Come Together, I had it as a 1. You had it as a 3. That's one of your favorite songs.
Yes, that song's freaking awesome.
It's a good song, but look at all these 2s. Maxwell, Oh Darling, Octopus Garden, I had as 2s.
Oh, thank God Octopus's Garden is just a +2. If it was a 3,
It was not a 3, no.
It's a 0, bro. That song's such a 0.
What do you got? So you got a 3, I got a 1 and a 1 for Something and Come Together. And then you have a 1 and a 2, and I got a 2 and a 2. You like Oh Darling's a 2?
I love that song.
That's a good song. Octopus's Garden's a 2 for me. I Want You See So Heavy is a 1.
Oh, boy.
Wait, I have 2 scores for this album.
I don't care, bro. Unless it's a +3 on the other one.
I think it is.
Oh, wow. You don't even know it's your scoring.
If it's not, then I gotta change it.
Because of the +3?
Yeah, it is.
Dang.
I was gonna say if it's not, I need to change it. But okay, so I got a plus. Well, okay, so for the original track version, it's a 1. It's a good song.
Are you sure it's not lovable?
I'm sure.
Are you sure it's not just because
I'm
you like
sure,
the other
no,
one more?
that
so
is
then
exactly
that one
why.
pisses
The
you off?
contrast between the other one makes me hate this one so much more. I'm like, the other one is so much better that why would you even think about putting this one on the fucking album? What were they thinking, dude?
It's not better. It's good, but it's not better. That would be a plus. That would probably be a +2 for me.
Okay, so it's a 1, and you got a what? You got a 3 again?
Yes,
You got a lot of 3s on
my
this
favorite Beatles
album.
song.
Okay, that's what
It's
you said.
the best Beatles
Here
song.
Comes the Sun, I also had as a 1. Yeah, so it was Sun King, was a 0.
Okay.
Because is a 3. That's my only
why
3.
Sun King?
I don't know, it's just boring.
It's slow, but why is slow always boring to you?
I don't know. I mean, Because and Sun King have the same kind of tempo, but
Yeah, I guess
Because
you
has
like
like a
that.
crazy synth.
Yeah,
The
it
lyrics
is a
are
little
way
more
better. Like Because, and that's a 3, dude. Because literally, that's the difference. Is you can do lyrics and a synth, and it makes it from a 0 to a 3 for me. Like this song is my favorite song on the album by far,
Would
and
you
it's
say
one of my favorite
Beatles
songs. I think it is my favorite Beatles song.
So both of our favorite Beatles songs are on this album.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Freaking good.
But a lot
album.
of Beatles songs that I like are on the White Album. So
Well, there's 30.
Rocky
so you
Raccoon,
better-
dude, that's got to be a +2 or 3. So
That's even more
you never give me your
goofy
money.
than-
That's a 1. What do you got? 1. So yeah, Sun King,
Sun
you
King, I
got 2.
a
You
I
love that song.
I love psychedelic rock. Everyone knows this about me. Look at the get up.
I got
look
it as
like
a 0.
dweeb.
I got it as a 0.
Me and Mr. Mustard. The whole suite is mostly ones just because they're so
Same,
short. It's kind of
except
hard to love
for
them
I got a 2
individually.
on Carry That Weight, and you got
I
it
got
on
a
Golden
2
Slumbers.
on Golden Slumbers.
Which I expressed during your discussion of. I was like, "That's a good song," and you expressed
She
it pretty
came in
well
through
too.
the bathroom window though. Catch me in like a couple months.
It might be
grow
a
to love
2,
that
honestly.
song.
Yeah,
that song's
that is a
freaking
pretty
awesome.
good. Her Majesty, I got a 1. Yeah,
I
you got a
also
1 too.
Yeah,
So I got a.
they're relatively similar. I think that where my score gets really raised is because of the "I Want You, She's So Heavy." That's the longest song, so it has the most weight of the
Right,
scores.
when I go down to my second score, which is all the
Oh,
same.
it's still lower.
Which is all the same
161.
except for I Want You, She's So Heavy. I got a 161, so it raises by 30 points because I Want You, She's So Heavy comes to a 3.
Wow, 30
So,
points from
because
one
and I
song?
Want You, She's So Heavy go to 3s on that album. Everything else is the same, I guess, on my second rating. But I think if they had included the Trident recording session and reduction mix version of I Want You, She's So Heavy, I think that the album would have been a much greater album.
131 for one of the most iconic albums of all time.
161, really, because I don't listen to the other track. I listen
But
to
the real one,
Trident
the real album is only a 131
Yeah,
out of 300.
yeah. And I think it's actually higher than Dark Side.
Don't say that. Cover your microphone. Oh my god. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember, to be honest, but I ranked it, so.
Abbey Road. Do you recommend it? You have to. Right?
I do.
Of course.
This is a good album.
This is.
I got it as a 131. That's a good album. You'll see our color score reflect.
Yeah, it's a new thing
So-
we're adding in the thumbnail, guys. Be excited. Yo, do the. It's gonna be the colors and then us going, whoa, this album. Okay, I had made a list for a friend of mine who used to be pretty musically illiterate. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Isaac.
Okay.
He wasn't just big into music. He just hadn't listened to a lot of albums. So me and my buddy Carter, we thought together, okay, what are the 5 albums this dude needs to hear? 5 quintessential albums.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the
Abbey
Moon.
Road.
Abbey Road, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, To Pimp a Butterfly, and then this was just to get him
I would
in.
say Ram, but
This was just because I wanted to start him off with the most like modern and acceptable
Ram.
In Rainbows.
Oh. All right, we're ending it there. That's it. Good album.
Great.
I don't know.
Great album.
Find out for yourself.
Great
Listen
album.
to it.
Listen to both versions of I Want You, She's So Heavy, but
Please.
and if you do, comment which one you like better because I want to see most people agree with me.
True. No,
For
most
all
people are
5
gonna agree
people
with me.
who watch this, maybe 100 if it performs as well as In Rainbows because the album's so freaking
What if
good.
it gets negative?
Negative views?
Negative views.
All right, guys, let's get those negative views.
Let me get the negative comments.
Yo. Then you got to look at the laptop upside down and then you see it. All right.
All right.
Boom.